Welcome back to Aimme Ascending Podcast. I have upgraded my studio to my new bedroom since we moved. But anyway, today I was thinking about going back to fasting because I know how well it is for my brain and for my body. But when I started doing the fastings, it was more focused on the body and the external goal. And this time I want the purpose behind the fasting to be about spiritual connection. That meaning, more expanded connection with my being, with my true self. And I was doing some Q&A today. That's what I call when I ask questions I used to call it find the answers to the question or the truth behind the question, but now I see it more like awareness. Questions leads to awareness because the truth is never limited to the intellect or our perception of the intellect's answer or perception of the truth. So I've changed the concept to be Q&A to be question loves awareness. I don't know about that, but anyway, it's a method that I use. And so let me see. Yeah, because also what I've learned to know since reading Eckhart Tolle's book, The Power of Now. I, of course, already knew it because the truth and answers is always within our being, but I felt like my awareness awoken or expanded more so that I could more tangibly see it clear. So just let me go through this journal that I use now. So I started this session by asking, how can I be a part of this collective manifested world, this illusionary concept of the world? And how can I accept agreeing it to be my truth? And the reply that I gave myself was I was referring to a part in Eckhart Tolle's book, and I tried to translate this to English since I wrote it in Swedish. So just give me a moment. He was talking about, I'm not sure which word he was using, but that is not of importance here because, as he says, words is only like road signs pointing you to what's beyond, pointing you to the truth, to the source where the truth comes from. And I think that is so powerful and beautiful, and that is true. In some part of all that, this is what I wrote. This is my translation of my how I perceived it as I was writing it this morning. This is like the surrender or the awake awareness that the beings living this planet needs to have to change it, to turn this planet into this beautiful and divine manifested thing. This is not referring to Eckhart Tolle. It's how I choose to use the words to express. And the next questions that came to me was, but how can I serve as a guide to my children, to other people that I love and other people in my surrounding? And the answer I gave myself was showing by being awake awareness, being in contact with my true self, and that the present is always my compass and guidance to my true self and my divine being. And the next questions was, but I feel like expectations is something that constantly is popping up and blocking when I'm thinking about a goal, how I want to be, my approach and my attitude is something which also easily starts the program psychological time. And then my reply was, is there a question here? And I'm continuing, how can I not get trapped in other people's opinions or my perception of them perceiving me when I accept different projects that goes with different roles. And the answer that came to me was, ask yourself where this role is coming from. Is it from your ego or from your ego's perception of other people's expectations of you? Or is it a playful role? Is it a playful role that I think is fun, that I would like to explore and just have fun with? And this was some examples that I gave myself, like standing on stage, perform, singing, play theater, or act like a leader for a group with a specific goal. Is it a temporary role, something that I really can, like when children are playing a game, like I will be the mom, you're not identifying with that role, it's just something that you will have fun with for now? Or is it more like a fixed role, like I'm such a great leader, I will become a great leader? That leaves a clue that there's something that we start to identify with. And ask yourself, is it with a playful touch, a desire to have fun, that you are stepping into this temporary role? Or is it a role that you feel like you must or should be? And then my question was, wow, what a great guidance, but how do I apply this? And then my answer to myself was, the egos will always try to find like a universal method, but there is no method or concept itself that are either good or bad. It's all depending on what is flowing through that method. Is it my awareness? Am I applying this concept of time? Am I doing that through my present awareness, like, okay, I really want to finish this song within 1 hour, yeah, let's do this? Or is it more like, okay, today I have to do this and that, and oh my god, how will when everything is just running on autopilot? And because I really know that the present is the only true portal to our true selves, but there are different bridges that can lead us to that portal. For instance, if I have an affirmation each and every single day telling me like, okay, breathe, calm down, focus on whatever you are looking at, that is just a reminder. And I think I like to think that reminders are like bridges that leading us to the portal of the present, that leads us to the source from where we all derive from. The source of infinite divinity, unconditional love, and infinite happiness. And also, this is something that I wrote that I think is so important, and I've known this, but it becomes more and more clear, especially when I notice it through my present awareness. And that is that whenever we sense positive feelings, first of all, you are not your emotions. You are not your feelings. Feelings is just a manifestation of whatever energy is flowing to and through our body. And we are not limited to any feeling, because if I feel sad today, I cannot be sad. It's like when I was little, I used to think it with my intellect, I'm sad now, and I'm pretty sure I will not be that tomorrow. But anyway, we are not our feelings, but feelings are road signs showing us if we are connected, in contact with our inner self, with our true selves, with our higher self, with our divine. If our divinity is present, it's always there, but is it present flowing through our body or not? That's the question. And negative emotions, instead of, like I used to do, feel like, oh my god, why do I feel this bad? I know better. I know we are all, the happiness is always within us. Why can I not feel that? It's nothing. It's the only thing that negative emotion is that they show us, they remind us that we are not in the present moment. We are not connected with our true self. Our true self is, of course, always there because it's infinite, but it's something is blocking that. Negative emotions are blockages hindering our free flow from shining through. So when we feel good, it's not about I'm feeling good because I just got my salary or I just got a raise. Even that's just, what should I call it? Like, it's like you can be glad for a different variation of things, but when we feel good, it's a sign that we are connected. And feeling good has no limitation. It's only our intellect who tries to identify it. Like, I feel so happy now. And that is because that I just got a raise. But the reason for you feeling good is not of importance. The only thing that is important is you feeling good. And it doesn't matter where your positive feelings comes from. It only shows you that you are more or less in contact with your true self. And whenever we try to limit that happiness to a specific concept, that's when that great feeling pretty soon will start to dissolve, because the intellect is projecting ideas that you are happy because you are rich, or you are happy because you are successful, or you're happy because you are in love. And being in love is great, but it's that categorization of trying to define the reason. And the reason why our ego is doing that is because the reason wants, like I said before, just wants to find a universal rule or concept to everything. Because the ego is smart, but also pretty dumb, because the ego thinks in terms of, okay, being successful or being in love is something that will make me feel good. So that is what I will aim for. And that's when we learn that not only is the good vibration, high vibrational that we feel are very temporary, because falling in love, in the spring, that's awesome. But what happens a couple of years in the relationship, maybe you are not that infatuated anymore. You hopefully love this person or not, but the ego projects all these ideas that some specific goal is the magic behind our happiness. But thinking like that does two negative things to us. First of all, is that it gives us a false idea of what happiness is. Happiness is within you, and happiness it's just a word. It's, just like love comes in many different manifestations. It can be love to your children, loving a place, loving wonderful food, forgiveness, gratitude. That is all different manifested versions of love that comes from another source, our infinite selves. So that's the number one thing. It gives us a false idea of where we will find happiness, that it's something that is outside ourselves and that it's depending on a specific physical concept or achievement. But also in the manifestation process, we are postponing what we are wanting, because when we think in terms of when I lose weight, when I find my dream partner, when I get that job, then I will be happy, then I will be happy, then I will be happy. This psychological time, we manifesting actually more time, more distance between what we imagine will make us happy here in the future. And I've talked about that a lot, but I really want to dwell more about the concept of psychological time. Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I wrote in my diary that, time is just an illusion. And it wasn't me who said that, it was Einstein, as you pretty sure know. But this became like an affirmation for me. Time is just an illusion. Time is just an illusion. Time is just an illusion. And that both made me feel more connected to myself, because I felt this urge to be free, as that I had felt since I were a child. Always this craving to feel free. That's why I never fully could accept things like you have to go in school. And I had no problems going to school. I liked school. Not always, but it was okay. I had friends, but I didn't like the idea of you have to, you must. So I start, because I really like how words are pointing us towards the truth, towards the source where truth comes from. And like some people needs a teacher in the beginning, we should never be addicted to any word or any teacher or any, let me show you. We should not be addicted to this. This is the Bible, to think that I need this to be connected with myself or God. It's just instruments that I can use. And I think it's the same with words. Words can never tell you the truth. Somebody else can never tell you the truth. Words are not enough to express the truth, but they are pointing us towards the source where the truth comes from. Anyway, sometimes for many people, you maybe need the Bible to read it, to really, in the beginning, to really create the space to connect, to ask questions, and to start to unfold and discover the truth within ourselves. Or somebody may need to go to church to remind yourself that there's something divine and it's here and it's present. You may not feel that as present as you would like to in your everyday life, going to school, sitting on the bus, going at work, and I think it's the same with words. Often when I discover something within me, I use the words that led me there repetitively, so that I really connect with what I discovered. So what I used to write was infinite floating time flow. Infinite floating time flow. And I probably had some reason why I chose specifically those words, but I think it was I wanted to point at since time is an illusion, I used a negotiation. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. To point negotiation, the opposite word, infinite, because infinity there is actually no opposite to that word. But using infinite, I was pointing towards what time was not. And floating, probably because at that time I felt like all the to-do lists and musts and I were never finished, because once I had finished some task on that list, the next one popped up. So I wanted to create like a harmony. I call it a harmony flow list, because it's a list and it's not about finish the list. It's more like see it clearly. I want to do this and that, and then there's